Oh my gosh, am I gonna rim it? Oh! Boom! Come on, hit the hole! No! Hydra! No!
For this one, what?
Are you kidding? Dude, are you kidding me? Look at this. Look where I'm stuck. How? How in the How? How? I don't have an older brother.
Me either.
I have an older cousin, but I wouldn't say he's scary. He's more... I'll say this. He was definitely... it was actually kind of funny because by the time I was 13, I was taller than him. And he was like... He was always a lot bigger than me when we were younger, but then when I turned 13, I actually got taller than him. And it was actually... It was actually kind of funny looking at the Christmas photos because you could actually see... Because my grandparents had them like side by side all the way up until like we were... until like my grandfather passed away when I was like 17. And you could see like the height variations, like first like here's him and here's me. It was like da 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 da. It's actually like loss and gain. It was pretty funny.
I have an older cousin that's actually probably taller than you.
No, he's
never really been scary though. So.
I'm 6'2". My cousin.
He's actually the cousin that gave me the Nintendo back in the day, so he's the reason I play video games.
Oh, so your cousin's cool.
Yeah.
Also, that thing about my cousin as well. He's also the same cousin who you remind me of that. He was the one who got in trouble really bad, and his mother sold his PlayStation and all his games to my dad for like $100. And yeah, basically it was like 7 games. And I got them all on top of his PlayStation 1, and I was just like, for $100, I'm like, you can't beat that. It's happy birthday to me. And also, sorry, because
it sucks to be your cousin.
Well, I mean, again, he messed up really bad. You want to know what he did? He crashed the 4-wheeler into a barbed wire fence and totaled it. Like, and he took it without permission. He basically took it joyriding, and he did not see the barbed wire fence coming, and he crashed into it, totaled it, and basically when he got back home, he had to walk back home and tell his dad what happened. Imagine waking his dad up in the middle of the night at 3 a.m. when his dad had to get up for work at like 5 in the morning, and he had to go out there with the pickup truck and drag it out of the fence and see that the front axle was just completely just shattered. I remember my dad telling me about it and said that oh, I said his name. Sorry. Hey, post-production Nate, please edit his name out.
It's funny because that's also my older cousin.
Really? Yeah. Well, there you go.
Except I don't think he's ever done anything that dumb.
Well, he was a bit of a hellion back in the day. But I loved him all the same. I mean, we hung out a lot. We played video games a lot. But anyway, my dad told me the extent of the damage of it. He said that my cousin was lucky to be alive because of just like the barbed wire literally swallowed up the front half of the ATV, and the front end was just like caved in V style, like at the front. Like, oh my gosh.
Damn.
Yeah. And my cousin was lucky to be alive, but he got punished justly. I mean, he wasn't allowed to own a gaming system until he bought a PlayStation 2 like 2 years later.
That freaking sucks.
Well, the only time he was able to play video games outside of that is when he came over to our grandparents' house and they played the old Nintendo, the old NES that was in the basement. That was it. That was the only time he could play video games.
I'm glad I never screwed up that bad because I probably would have myself.
Oh, whoa. No, come on, man. I mean, you'd have found something else to do. You'd have gotten into drawing or something like that.
Maybe. It's just video games were always my major hobby.
Well, yeah, it's a major outlet for a lot of people.
They were the thing that kept me sane and kept me out of trouble, so...
Well, I was going to say, what kept me out of trouble was my mom and my dad, because I remember the first time I messed up really bad. It was when I kicked the wall so hard, it literally, like, there was a hole in the wall, like, this big, and it was the exact outline of my foot. And my dad came home, and he was just like, all right, son, come with me. And we go to Lowe's, we buy the piece of sheetrock, we replace it and everything, and then we get back, and my dad's just like, you know what's going to happen now, right? And I'm like, Yeah. He's like, all right. Goes and he takes his belt off and just tans my friggin' hide. I mean, my parents whipped me. But yeah, and here's the thing. There's a difference between abuse and disciplining your child. My parents were disciplining me. And after that point, after I saw what my parents were capable of in terms of disciplining me, all I had to do was be threatened with, like, you want me to tell your dad when he gets home? I'm like, I'd run. And I remember the other time I got in trouble, it was like my mom heard me say the F word for the first time when I was like 12. And all of a sudden, I hear my dad pull up outside. I hear just like, you know, he had a gravel driveway. You hear the... He did what?
I feel like you've done this exact bit before on this channel.
It's been a long time. It's been a long time since I've done that, but it was...
It doesn't seem like that long ago.
I think it's been a couple years at least.
I don't know. I remember that. I don't remember shit. Like, you know what I mean?
But my dad, needless to say, when he got up there, he basically, instead of whipping me that time, he said, we're getting up in the morning and you're going to work with me. And 12-hour day working as a contractor, you know, putting down sheetrock, hammering in nails, shoveling gravel. Dude, it's not easy. It is not an easy life. And I didn't get paid that day either, because, you know, punishment. Anywho, Emery Chew is going to regale us with a tale of her scary older brother. So, I guess without further ado, let's get into Emery Chew's video and see what we have here. Here we go.
So I've come to the realization that I don't really talk about my family much, so let's change that today with a story that happened years ago involving my oldest brother, John. Except we're not going to call him John, because he actually goes by Sim, since he thought the name John was a little too bland and didn't suit him. To all the Johns watching this, I'm sorry. I'm sure you're all lovely people. Except you, John. You're kind of lame. You know who you are. I have a second older brother named Josh, and the thing about the three of us is the fact that we're nothing alike. Like at all. We hardly even look related. Sim was the athletic one, Josh had the brains, and I liked to draw. I was also the only one who had a weeb phase, so both of them thought I was a total weirdo growing up. Although, come to think of it, they probably still think I'm a weirdo. They really wanted me to be the cool tomboy little sister who could play basketball with them, but I ended up being the complete opposite. Actually, you know what? I really wanted to take Taekwondo when I was like 9, but my dad never let me take classes because he was scared it'd make me too boyish. Now I suck at defending myself. Thanks a lot, Dad. I'm just kidding, Dad. I love you.
Take some boxing classes.
My brothers and I do have one thing in common, though. We're all not very good at speaking in Korean. Like, we can hold a conversation pretty okay, but we struggle with grammar and picking the right words. This little tidbit will be evident later. Now, my oldest brother's appearance can best be described as intimidating. He was never afraid of confrontation, liked wearing leather jackets, and after glass shards got stuck in his hair following a car accident in 2004, he had to shave his head, and he actually liked it enough to continue doing it to this day. He also looks slightly irritated, like, all the time. You know those people who just normally have a pissed-off-looking resting face, even though they're probably just thinking about the weather or what to eat for dinner or something?
You know, it's a compromising thing. It's on dudes, it's called resting dick face, in which, you know, I kind of have that, because people feel intimidated when they have to come up and talk to me. Like, I remember, like, meeting some people for the first time, they're just like, hi, Nate, how are you? And I'm like, hey, how's it going? And they're like, oh my gosh, oh, okay, so it's like, well, I try to be joyous and happy and jolly and all that, but I just got one of those faces just like...
Okay, I feel like you have no room to talk, because here's the difference between people being intimidated about coming up and talking to you and people coming up and talking to me. For people coming up and talking to me, they don't.
Really?
No, people straight up don't come talk to me. And I've been told I look unapproachable. And I'm just like,
I think it's the Cthulhu hair. People are just like, what is that entity on top of us? Oh my god.
I think it's the fact that I don't show emotion and I don't smile unless something is actively like making me laugh.
Well,
or like making me happy. Like if I see something cute, like my cat, like doing something cute, then I'll smile. But you know, like I don't ever feel the need to smile unless something immediately is happening that makes me smile.
Well,
like,
that's the thing. That's why
I feel like it's fake if I smile when I see someone, you know, like unless it's somebody like I really like, you know. So it's usually like I'm not like, hey, have good, like, how you doing today? Like, you know, it's just like just feels fake as shit.
You're just like yeah, whatever.
Just like, yo, cool. What up?
Yo,
how's it going? It's like because I'm just. Like, people are like, you don't express your emotions. I'm like, I express my emotions perfectly. I'm usually very meh about being awake at any given time, so my emotions are expressed. Like,
yeah.
It's like, I don't really want to be here right now. I'd rather be napping. Like,
yeah.
That's my emotion that I'm expressing constantly, because it's the truth.
And I honestly, I mean, I think it's also the fact that I'm like, in terms of like compared to most people, I'm big. I'm 6'2" and I weigh just about 300 pounds. I'm a pretty big guy, and I guess some people see like how big I am, and they're just like, oh my gosh, he could hurt me really bad if I offend him. It's like I'm not a violent person. I'm not gonna swing at you. It's just like because we disagree. It's just like I like my French. I like my grilled cheese without crust on. I'm like, you what? Yeah, I'm not gonna be like that.
Except for I will say that now I've started getting approached by people after I do sets with Paradoxum, which is kind of cool.
Well,
it's cool but awkward at the same time because I'm awkward about it, but it's cool because people actually seem to think I'm approachable after seeing me do vocals on stage, I guess. Like, well,
that's a good thing, right? I mean, you know, they see you.
It always seems like people want to come talk to the band members after they see them play and they like the stuff. So
yeah, and I think that that's a good thing for you because I guess it just shows that you have a great on-stage presence, and a lot of people. Because I've seen this guy perform multiple times, and he's got a great stage presence, and
I'm sure you can tell when I talk between songs how awkward I am off stage. So.
Well, yeah, because
some people are probably like, I want to see if he sounds really awkward off stage, but I don't know.
Well, your presentation in between songs, you try to lead into it whenever the band is going through like the build up to it before and even when there's not.
At the very beginning.
Huh?
You're talking about at the very beginning?
Well, no. I'm talking about just like this. I've seen you a few times. Use like this next song is the
the part at the very beginning of the first song.
Yeah. And
then the part leading into the second song are both kind of like rehearsed, more theatrical type things that I say.
See, those I don't feel that.
Leucochloridium paradoxum, or the green-banded brood sac, is a parasitic I hope I don't do that on stage tomorrow night. A parasitic flatworm that uses snails as an intermediate host. Anyways, and then like after that, it's like this next song is a ritual for summoning the Egyptian god of chaos, Apophis.
Yeah.
But then after that, it's like, hey, what's up, guys? We're Paradoxum from early Tennessee.
Well, that's what
how
I'm
y'all
saying.
doing tonight? Yeah, I didn't hear hardly anything. I said, how y'all doing tonight?
Yeah, well,
like,
again,
that's how it went. Like after like our most recent shows, like everybody was like, whoa, and I was like, I said, how y'all doing tonight? And then they're all like, whoa.
Well, that's the thing. You need to be assertive whenever you're the lead singer to a certain degree. Yeah. Like for instance, Jim Morrison had that problem. Jim Morrison actually couldn't face the crowd for like the first year the Doors were performing. And everyone was just like, show us your face! Let's see what you look like!
I've seen people do that. Like, I've seen vocalists from metal bands in the community, like, face away from the crowd for, like, most of their set.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, I fucking don't like that.
Well, you at least, like, get up towards the front of the stage, and you, like, put your foot on one of the PA speakers, and you're just, like, going at it.
You have to fight, because it feels better to face away from everyone, because you just kind of feel like you're not, if you can't see them, they can't see you type thing, you know?
Yeah, it's a weird confirmation bias. You
have to push past it because it just looks kind of goofy when you have your back turned like the whole fucking time. Anyways, we got way off topic with this and we need to get back to the video.
Sorry. Again, dude, these mentions and everything. Oh my god. Dude. I have so many notifications on here because of this shit.
Yep.
Wow.
be careful. You get the Twitter mob after you.
I think they're already after me, dude.
Way to go.
Oh, gosh. You argue for a little bit of specificity on the internet, and they treat you like you're the caveman. When they're the ones being like, no specificity.
He's
none.
one of those.
Sorry.
Even though they're probably just thinking about the weather or what to eat for dinner or something, he's one of those. And on top of all this, he's athletic and muscular. So at first glance, he doesn't look all that approachable. So, in 2012, when he landed a job as a strength and conditioning coach for the U.S. Army base in South Korea, he stuck out like a sore thumb. A scary thumb. I'm mentioning this because this story happens to take place in South Korea. So one evening during his first month there, he was out hanging out with some friends of his at a little cafe that they frequented, with these two girls working behind the counter. And in the middle of this pleasant, relaxing evening, this middle-aged man staggers in, and he's clearly had a little too much to drink. Instead of going up to the counter to order like you're supposed to, he sits down and barks from his seat.
Hey, give me a coffee.
This was all in Korean, by the way, but I don't trust myself to accurately translate it, so just keep in mind none of this was in English. What kind of coffee?
Just give me a coffee.
So already, this dude isn't giving off any good vibes, and everyone can tell he's probably gonna be kind of an asshole. And they were right. While waiting for the coffee he so rudely demanded, the man pulled out a cigarette and started lighting it. Sir, you can't smoke here.
Screw you. If I wanna smoke, then I'm gonna smoke.
Sir, you really aren't allowed to smoke in here.
Bah.
How hard do I have to hit this guy to knock him out, but not injure him? So the man continues to smoke, completely ignoring the cafe employees, who can't really do anything because it's not like they have any sort of security to assist them, and I guess they didn't think it was worth it to call the cops. But my brother wasn't having any of it. He wasn't gonna just let this old crusty creature disrespect the cafe employees and smoke up the place like he lives there. So without a word, Sim gets up, walks up to the man, and yanks the cigarette out of his mouth. Except he yanked it too quickly, so half of it was still in the guy's mouth. At this point, he's already committed to this confrontation, so he walks out of the cafe to toss the half cigarette, walks back into the cafe, yanks out the rest of it, and goes back outside to toss it. Maybe it made less of an impact that way, but he got the job done, and that's all that matters here. Just go with it. In an attempt to be a helpful citizen, he walks over to the counter to ask the cafe girls if they wanted him to take the guy outside. Now, the message my brother was trying to convey was, "Ma'am, would you like for me to remove this belligerent, intoxicated gentleman from the premises so that he and his prohibited tobacco use are outside? Or in short, do you want me to get rid of him?" But he, with his very limited Korean skills, instead said, "없애버릴까요?" Which translates to, "Do you want me to erase him?"
Oh, man. Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
They're probably like, holy crap.
Yeah. Holy
like,
crap.
I didn't realize this dude over here was an anime protagonist that's sitting here.
Anime protag, dude.
damn.
No, that's like antagonist, like anti-hero shit.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, you want me to erase him? The hero would just be like, you want me to make him leave? Instead, he, like, with his intimidation factor, I guarantee you the ladies are going to freak out. They're like, no, don't do that!
Or should I make him disappear? Or pretty much anything that suggests the possibility of murder.
You want me to
So, in their perspective, this random cafe patron who looks like he's possibly affiliated with the Korean mafia just suggested that he'd be willing to make someone cease to exist if they just say the word. So they respond how any normal person would respond.
No!
No! Wait, really? Yes, that really won't be necessary. I mean, it really wouldn't be difficult. I was just gonna take him outside and... Please don't do that! Okay.
Love the fact, like, she turned him into Saitama.
Saitama frame.
Oh, yeah, that's beautiful.
Shoot yourself, then.
Little punk.
What did you just say? His friends urged him to sit back down and that starting a fight with an old drunk guy wasn't worth it. So he did, preparing himself to retaliate if the man tried to throw hands with him. So what happened next? Did the guy throw a punch his way?
No.
Did my brother block it and omae wa mo shindeiru him into the afterlife, dazzling the cafe girls with his manly charms?
No.
No, the Guy just called up his designated driver to come pick him up and went on his way. Boo! That's boring! Bad ending!
Reality's never as
that's what
interesting as
happened.
fantasy.
I don't know what to tell you. It wasn't until after they'd left when he realized, oh, I definitely didn't word that question right. Oops. He's been living in Korea for about 6 or 7 years now, so I'm pretty sure his Korean has improved significantly since then. And despite how he appears on the outside, my brother is actually really nice and is currently married with 2 kids, believe it or not. Since he's so much older than me, he's always had to take care of me, and he's taught me so much since I was a little kid, which I really appreciate him for, because now I know how to make really bomb scrambled eggs. Among other things, of course. I know this story has nothing to do with me, but after hearing about it, I knew I had to illustrate it. So thank you to my brother for granting me permission to draw this whole mess out. I hope I did it justice. So, it's finally 2019. I was supposed to finish this video in December, but I got caught up in the holiday frenzy and finished it kind of late. I hope everyone had a good New Year. I started off my new year with food poisoning, so that's fun. Actually, as I'm recording this last bit, I've vomited like 4 times already, so I'm not exactly in the best condition right now, but it'll pass quickly, so I'm not too worried.
That does.
By the way, I'll be attending Anime Los Angeles all 4 days next week, so if you're also going and you happen to see me walking around, feel free to say hi. I'll be posting updates on Twitter about what I'll be doing and or wearing. I'm really looking forward to spending all my money at the Artist Alley. Thank you to everyone who drew me fan art, and I'll see you again soon.
Actually, 2019, so yeah, this is 3 years ago. Dang. My brain still thinks it's 2021. I do that every now and again. You know that for like the first month or so, you have that confusing time where you're still like 2021 to a certain degree? I have that sometimes. Not all the time, but it's like every now and again.
Somebody posted a thing yesterday that's like, just to inform you all, I will forever be convinced that it's the year 2000 or something like that. It's like 10 years ago was the 90s, etc., and stuff like that. It's like, thank you for your understanding. I think for me, it's more like I'm pretty much forever going to be convinced it's 2010.
Yeah, I still feel, okay, for me, I still feel like it's still like 2012. It's like people were born after 2000? That shit ain't real.
Well, it's like once I finished college and I didn't have like any sort of like recent landmarks for like when stuff happened anymore.
Yeah.
I stopped remembering like what specific year stuff happened during at that point. So it all just has blurred together since then. Like, because at least when I was in school, I would be like, yeah, this happened in 5th grade. This happened in 6th grade. So this year, like, you know, it's like this happened the year before I graduated. So that would be 2006. Like, this happened the year that I did graduate. So it would be 2007. And then I get out of school and it's just kind of like, yeah, that happened like 5 years ago, right? Nope, that was like 11 years ago. What the fuck?
Yeah. Oh, gosh. Wow. I just can't. Damn. Time only moves faster the older you get, guys. Enjoy the moments where you think time is moving slow to a certain degree, because next thing you know, you're going to be 50 and you're going to be like, what the hell? What happened? Wait, I have 2 kids? Wait, I'm married? Oh, I'm divorced. Got married again? Yeah, so. Like, for instance, it is going to be my dad and my stepmom's 18th anniversary here soon. Congratulations, by the way, guys. But I have known my dad married longer to my stepmom than I have known my dad married to my mom. Because my dad and my mom were married for 16 years. And, you know, now, like, it's officially, like, past that point where now, like, I've known my parents longer apart than I have together. Oh, that just feels weird to me. It still does to a certain degree. Ugh. But anywho, yeah, her scary older brother. I mean, again, it's not her brother's fault. Her brother's probably a very nice guy. It's just he's got an intimidating aura about him, and sometimes that doesn't benefit, like, regular conversation because people are too busy being intimidated by you to actually be like, oh, I'm sorry, what was that? I'm sorry, I was too scared to comment. Anywho.
Just that unfortunate misspeaking of Korean.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
Really
Again,
funny,
language,
actually.
language, like immersion. Like for instance, Rick, Simpapi Rick, who we're gaming with now. You know, if you want to check out our gaming channel, I'll link in the description down below and in the comment section. But we're gaming with Rick more often, and he's half Puerto Rican and half Cuban, and he can still speak Spanish, like to a certain degree, but for him, he's right about this. It's about immersing yourself in the language and keeping yourself sharp on it. It's like Xiaoma, he has to go to Chinatown to basically reaffirm his it's like, okay, so I need to speak Chinese fluently in order to keep it in my head. And he also learns various other languages and basically does immersion learning with that, where he basically goes to an area that is fluent in this language and he speaks it so that he can get more comfortable with it. Some people just can do that, and it terrifies me. And I know I know the only other language that I've committed to a little bit was the Cherokee language a little bit. What I learned from certain family interactions, but other than that, I mean, Spanish I know a fair amount. Japanese I know a little bit. I took French for 1 year. I looked up German translations for a while because I was really into Rammstein. Du hast mich. Sorry. But anyway, My Scary Older Brother by Emery Chu. This was a good one. We recommend that y'all check out Emery Chu. As always, Em actually commented back to us about the whole thing that happened with her network basically claiming our videos. She said it was an accident and she's getting it taken care of. So yeah, basically, Em, thank you for clearing that up with us again. And Em, if you are watching this, which you did watch our one of our previous videos, thank you so much for having our back on this, and keep doing you. So also, your room is really pink. That is the pinkest room I've ever seen in my entire life. We're referring to her room tour video, which, if y'all want to watch that video, it's her newest video, so check that out. So anyway, until next time, everyone, signing off, I'm Nate.
I'm Nick.
We'll see you then, everybody. Peace out.